Hi everyone, it's Andrée Fennell, aspiring future contents and author of Behind the Mask. And I have today with me the lovely Wendy Gannaway. And in a moment, I'm going to get her to introduce herself. But just to start with, I met Wendy probably about 12, 15 years ago, even more, within the training fraternity. She was working as associate for a company that I was at the time, and we got to know one another and worked with a particular client together. Then we lost contact, and we've rekindled that contact recently. So I've invited Wendy here today to talk about an article she's recently posted on LinkedIn that I found inspiring. And it was all about empathy, vulnerability, and living authentically. So I'm going to hand over to you now, Wendy, to talk to us, tell us a bit more about yourself and the article, etc.
Oh, thanks ever so much, Andrée. So I co-run Genius Learning along with my business partner, who I've known for about 27 years. Prior to that, I had another business that I started in 2004. And outside of that, I got a background in performing arts, come from loving parents, no siblings, no pets. That's it.
Okay.
So the article, what prompted me was the empathy piece. And I think, Andrée, that's something that you and I have spoken a lot about over the years, especially when we were working together at that training company. It was Brené Brown. It was a quote that came up on one of my social medias, and I thought, I've got to share that because that's brilliant. And the quote, I've got it here on my tablet, is empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice. In order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. So I thought, I'm big on empathy, in particular, why a lot of people just don't do it, especially managers, because it seems to be one of those really fluffy things. And I think it gets misunderstood with sympathy. So that really, really struck out for me. And that's why I chose to write the article that I did.
Yeah, and I picked up on that, obviously, because I know you, but the fact that I'm really passionate about, empathy to me is one of the most important facets that an individual, but particularly leaders and managers, need to have.
Absolutely.
If you can't empathise, and like you said, it's not a sympathise, if you can't empathise, I would find it very difficult to manage people as a manager, if you can't empathise with their feelings, what their emotions, what they're going through. So
absolutely, Andrée. And okay, I battle with it's one of these fluffy things that we just don't do because we are focused on results. And so I'm thinking, there's got to be more to it. And the quotes that Brené had shared about it being a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, I thought, that's probably the reason why. Because in order to, and empathy is thinking along with somebody, in order to really empathize, you do have to connect with a feeling somewhere that's linked to an experience, and it might be uncomfortable. So therefore, it puts you in a vulnerable position, or of sharing a vulnerability or a feeling. So I thought, that's probably why. That's it. Ooh.
And it's interesting, isn't it, that, Brené Brown preaches, for the last 20 odd years or more, she's a professor, and she has researched into vulnerability, authenticity. That's what she's known for. And interestingly, like that quote quite rightly said, I think people think as vulnerability as a weakness, and it's not. And if you show your vulnerable side, you are in fact showing the authentic you. Okay. Yeah. So talk to me about authenticity. What does that mean to you?
Authenticity is about knowing yourself and being able to be yourself, perfect imperfections as well. I believe, in my experience, that people mistrust perfection. certainly in our roles, Andrée, as learning and development professionals, if individuals see something so polished, it's absolutely pristinely polished, there's a bit that goes through their head that says, gosh, that's so perfect, I'll never ever ever be able to do that, that's so far away from me. Where if they see you and your natural flaws, because it's our flaws that make up the people who we are, our vulnerabilities that make up the people we are, they can more naturally say, do you know, actually there's hope for me, I can do that. And if we can give people hope, we give them something really, really magical.
Yeah, and it is about, I mean, that's the whole essence of the book and authenticity, because people buy from people who they like, who they feel comfortable with, who are authentic. You don't want to buy, I mean, I don't like false people, full stop. I steer well away from them. And I think, you know, some manager, or my experience in corporate world, and I did it myself initially, which is part and parcel of the journey in this book, was that people are trying to project something they're not, and you know, they're transparent, you can see through that. So I've learnt people, as I say, like people who are authentic and not false, they're not wearing that mask. Yeah.
Yes, and I love the point that you make about this journey to authenticity and people wearing this mask, trying to be someone they're not. Hold my hand up. Maybe having the background in performing arts, I have tried to be somebody I'm not. I mean, my whole studies, especially the acting bit and the dancing bit, was like that. It was the music that wasn't quite, because I actually said to one of my professors when I was away at conservatoire, said, why did you take me for audition, because I'm clearly not the most perfect musician here. And he said, because you play with personality. And it took me, I think it probably took me till now to really work out what that is. And even going into my career in learning development as a business person, yeah, I tried to be what I thought everybody else needed me to be or expected me to be, and it's blooming hard work. It's so much easier being me. And yes, of course, there's going to be natural elements of trying to calibrate to an individual and an organization, as long as you don't lose something of yourself.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it, actually, Wendy. It's not losing yourself, because you know, and actors and actresses do it all the time.
Yeah.
The guy that plays the lead in Peaky Blinders, there was an article I read about a year ago,
Yes.
where when he said, when I go into character, I totally immerse myself. My wife hates it when I finish filming and go home, because he said, I become that character, and he loses something of his true self. Yeah.
That's so true. I can really identify with that, which is, well, I'm not a famous actress now. I think I got on everybody's nerves when I should just come back and I'm still in character. Yes, and I think it takes bravery to be yourself, especially if you're in front of an audience, especially if you're a leader, especially if you're in front of a huge team, a huge company. One of the most authentic and vulnerable leaders I actually come across was someone, when he was talking and he was saying about the changes that were happening, and he said, some of you are going to find this really, really tough. He said, and I'll be honest with you, I am. And he choked.
Oh.
He actually choked. And just as you went, everybody else kind of went.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
That's right, and he's human. Okay. So talk to me about, you know, performing arts. We've just defined that it's very different, because you have to go into character and be someone you are not. Otherwise, you won't give the audience, you know, you won't connect with the audience. So talk to me about authenticity in terms of living authentically. How has that impacted you, either positively or negatively?
Since I made a conscious decision choice, see, I've been authentic, made a mistake, decision choice to do that, it's actually been like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. Where it's impacted me negatively, I guess, is where I've been in meetings or I've been in companies where people maybe made a judgment, and that's their stuff. That's what I'm learning now. That's their stuff. That maybe I didn't sound right, or I didn't look right, I wasn't on brand, or I didn't have a posh accent, because my natural accent is a Cockney accent. And so they might have chosen not to go with me. And for a while, I probably felt disappointed and thought, oh, you know, I'm just so, I must be useless. I must be useless. I'll go and do something else. So I think once I've got over that, then I've, yeah, I've learned from it, and I've learned that people have their stuff, I have my stuff, and it's okay.
Yeah, and I've learned as a trainer and a coach that you can't be everything to everybody. And you know, when I was doing training, you know, public courses, you could have 15 delegates. 12 of them or 13 of them may love you. You get great feedback. 2 of them don't like your character, don't like the way you deliver. You know, you can't please everybody. And I've learned, don't try to. If they don't like it, that's their baggage, like you've just said. Okay, so let's move on to core values then, because I think what we've just talked about links into those. So talk to me about your top values, Wendy. What are they? What do they mean?
Top values have to be freedom, optimism, and respect.
Ah, okay. And if you can expand slightly, so just give me an explanation of what they mean to you.
Okay. Freedom to be the person I am, to work and operate in the way that works best for me, which is one of the reasons why I decided to start off on my own and run my own business, and freedom to go and see different people in their live environments. Optimism, well, I think I've got that one from my mum. There's always going to be, say, something that can come out of even the most, you know, nasty situations. And respect, I was brought up, my parents didn't have a lot of money, and I was brought up that everybody is as good as everybody else.
Brilliant. I like that. Okay. And so in terms of your values, talk to me about a time, maybe could be recently, could be a few years back, where one of those core values has been impinged, and what was the result in terms of how it made you feel and the emotions?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, I think most recent one, I think it's got to be freedom, where that's been impinged. And thanks to COVID-19. And I do say thanks because I am thankful now. I wasn't at the start when I was going, oh no, you mean I can't go on site? I can't go and see people. I can't travel to Italy and work with the group over there. I can't hug people. I'm a hugger. Yeah, that totally blew my mind. But I'm kind of thankful now, because I didn't realise that I'd got so busy and I was pretty much running on empty, that it's given me the gift of space to work on another dream that my business wife, I call her, Caroline, and I have been wanting to do for a long time, which is to write a book. And also we've been part of another book which you are part of as well, Ready to Rise. So that COVID-19, I think, and I do get my dip days where I can think, oh, I'd just like to go and hug my mum. I am still thankful for this unusual gift of time. I do believe that it's a chance to reinvent ourselves and come out stronger than ever. And also, you're seeing a lot more vulnerabilities coming and being shared. You see it in the media, and I'm seeing it shared on LinkedIn, everywhere. So maybe people are going to be much more authentic. Who knows? I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and I agree. You know, people in the past, you would see pitch perfect, you know, videos, and people are going, you know what, does it matter? No, I'm presenting something. This is the authentic me. And they are, and they're talking about their vulnerabilities much more. And I like you, I'm using this time wisely. So you know, we've just had Ready to Rise promote. I'm going to hopefully invest or be part of your journey, your self-help, or your book, sorry, not self-help book. Yeah, so, and I'm using this time to, you know, interview some wonderful people like yourself. I think it's a great opportunity.
And that's why, that's one of a million reasons why I totally admire and respect you, Andrée, because not only are you one of the most courageous people I've ever known in terms of being privileged to know your story, you just have this wonderful way of helping people discover for themselves and learn and encourage them along. And you've done that with me. And whilst you say that Brené Brown, you have so much admiration for her, which is absolutely true, I would hope that she hears of you and she has admiration for you, because to me, you are UK Brené Brown. You have this wonderful way of articulating what we might all be thinking, but perhaps not saying. So thank you for coming out from behind the mask.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do admire Brené Brown. I've posted something this morning that I shared, sorry, one of her posts and added to that. But yeah, thank you. I'd never thought of myself as a UK Brené Brown, but that's a great accolade. So thanks for that, Wendy. So lastly, you know, we talk about the book. So lastly, was there anything particularly that resonated in the book with you?
I think there's a message of authenticity that's coming out, and being brave. Yeah, being brave, being yourself, and that it's okay. That's one of the things that really shone out for me. It's okay, and that's one of the things I took. So I'm okay. You're okay. With all our flaws, with all our beautiful imperfections, we're okay.
Brilliant. Anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's it. I just want to say thank you so much for interviewing me. It's a privilege.
Well, thank you very much for spending the time with me on this interview, and thank you for your feedback and your ability to be honest about what you've learnt and about the authentic Wendy. So that's who we've met this afternoon. So thank you very much. And I would like to, whilst I'd like to be part of your book journey, I do wish you very well in that project. And if it's something you've had, you know, on the cards for a while, then, you know, forward your head. It's the most amazing thing to, you know, get yourself as a published author. So thank you very much for your time, Wendy, and I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your day.
Bless you. Thanks so much, Andrée. It's been a joy.
All right then. Thanks. Bye.
Bye for now.